Hey guys, as promised, here is my life update that is probably going to be pretty long. So get comfy, grab something to eat or drink, and yeah, this is going to be a long update, I have a feeling. I am currently relaxing on my bed, and I have a dentist appointment in like 2 hours. Anyway, so life. So last I left you guys off, I was going to be doing public adoption. That was kind of my goal, but I am not doing that anymore. I'll have to do like a whole video on like pros and cons and stuff like that, but basically it takes a very long time to get your home study done. Once you have your home study done, it takes a very long time to get a referral, and even if you find a kid like through the photo listings, it takes a long time for the social worker to get back to you, and then like you have like a bunch of meetings with the child and then like trial runs, and it could be like a bazillion years before you actually get that child in your home. And I honestly don't have the patience for that. I was ready to be a mom 2 years ago, and I'm done. I'm at the point where I just want someone to hand me a child. I would be adopting a toddler through public adoption. I wouldn't have been able to get an infant. I'd be lucky if I could get a toddler. Fostering would be out because at least all the agencies I've looked at in Ontario, you can't foster or foster to adopt a child under 5 if you are not having one parent stay at home. I financially cannot stay at home, and I obviously am single, so that's not an option. Taylor, can you please stop digging? So that's kind of disappointing, and I feel like with adopting too, that being single, trying to get a child under 5, it's going to be a pain in the butt. So anyway, now that I've been back in Ontario, I was like, hey, I should look into international adoption agencies and see what they have available in Ontario, because Manitoba was very limited on what countries I could apply for, very limited on what ages, like it was like horrible. I don't know if I ended up telling you guys about the Vietnam thing, but I was talking to an agency about adopting from Vietnam because they are open to singles. The problem with that was, one, the time from referral, meaning the time you are matched with a child, to the time of pickup is long. So you end up you might be matched with like a 9-month-old, but by the time you actually go pick them up, they could be like 2 or 3. Like, it's crazy long. And maybe it's not like this for all agencies. This was just the agency I was talking to and how they were describing it to me. The other thing is being single, at any point until finalization, that child could be matched with a couple. Singles are not given anything. Like, priority-wise, couples are top of the list. So I could be given a match, and then I'm waiting to go pick them up. I could be like 2 weeks away from picking them up and be called and be like, oh yeah, we found a couple for this child instead. And I cannot do that. I can't. I think I've been through enough disappointment. I do not need to deal with that. So here in Ontario, I discovered that Bulgaria is open to singles. They have a good list of special needs children that would be faster to get, and I would be able to get a child under 3, 3 and under. They have like usually 1 and up is their minimum age. So I'd be getting a toddler, which I am perfectly okay with. Which I guess I should have explained the whole. I had other stuff I should have explained first. But anyway, so I will be applying for that. However, I need my life in order first. But basically, I was talking to an agency today. Today is Tuesday. This will be going up Wednesday. But I was talking to an agency today and meeting with her next week. And it's very likely I would have a fast match, if not like immediate match, because they do have a list. And I actually found a list online through like the Bulgarian government ministry-ness, and through that list there was over 1,000 children that are waiting, that are under the special needs, and of those, 5 were ones that I would take. They were in my age range and they were in like my list of special needs. And 2 or 3 of those were girls, which I am going to do a preference for girls. I can do a whole video on that, but basically having a girl is just better for me with being single. Anyway, so where was I going? So that is kind of where I'm at in terms of my journey to motherhood. With life, I am heading back to school. I don't know, I can't remember what I've told you and what I haven't told you. But basically, before, when I decided to take a year off, I wanted to find a way that I could work in Ontario and by family, that I wouldn't have to go again to an isolated community and live in the middle of nowhere where it's stressful, it's really difficult emotionally. Not so much physically, like I was okay with like being alone and stuff. It was just hard to not get supplies in and like seeing the kids that were so struggling while I wanted to be a mom and stuff like that. Anyway, and the pay wasn't that great. So I was looking into doing my early childhood education, which is ECE, which is daycare work. And I had looked into that previously before I had moved to teach. And I was missing certain things that I would have had to take the 2-year program for. And I was like, don't really want to take 2 years of school after I've just spent like half my life in school. So I didn't do that. While I was at Dog Scout camp, I decided to look and see if I could do it online or something. Because I had known before that there was a college that offered online ECE classes, and then you would just have to find your own placement and stuff. So I'm like, well, maybe I should apply to that and see if I can get exempt from some courses and how stuff works. And then I'm like, well, let's see what is offered at our local college. So I looked that up, and they now have a program specifically for teachers. The job market here in Ontario for teachers sucks horribly. So I guess they realized that a lot of teachers would like to now be daycare teachers. So they specially designed a program. So I only have 7 courses total and 2 practicums, 2 placements. Whereas before I would have had like 7 classes per term, and 4 placements. So it's not that bad of a program. It's only 1 year. I will be heading back in September for that. And that's kind of where I was talking before about TTCing. I'm going to have to put that on hold because my schedule is basically every morning I have classes and every afternoon I have placements. So I am busy almost every day. Placement won't start right away, but with classes and stuff and trying to TTC with shipments, I have to be home to receive the shipments, and it's just a pain in the butt to try to do anything like that. And I'm really loving the whole international adoption thing, so to TTC is kind of just a waste of my money because it's costing $120 to do shipments every month now, every cycle, whereas I could be putting that $120 towards my future child. So yeah. So I'll be heading back to school, 1-year program. I'll be done end of April. I feel like there's other stuff I wanted to talk about in terms of schooling. Oh, I am also doing sign language course. I'm doing an extra course to do sign language for 2 reasons. One, I feel like having sign language will open up more opportunities as a daycare teacher and also in the school system, because in Ontario with full day kindergarten now, there has to be an ECE teacher in each kindergarten classroom. So having the sign language might help me get a job there, or just a job in general doing sign language or interpreter or whatever for children kind of thing. It just, I don't know if I'm going to be any good at it or if I'm going to hate it or what, but I figured let's try it and see it, and if it helps me get a job that's higher paying, then great. The reason I say higher paying is because switching from teacher to daycare teacher, my salary is being cut in half. My expenses are obviously a lot lower. If you've watched any of my grocery hauls recently, my groceries are a lot cheaper here than where I was living. So that's good. Plus, like, just life is happier here. I don't know how to explain it, but like having friends and family, really, I didn't realize how hard it was for me not to have them where I was living. Like, I wasn't lonely when living there, but being back here, I see how much I was missing out on. So what else was there? So the second reason I'm taking the sign language is because I will be applying for special needs child. If I have the option to choose a child that is deaf or having hearing issues, having sign language might help through the child transitioning and stuff, and also help with in the future. I'm going to obviously need to learn it. So figure just to step ahead and do that. So for the international adoption will cost me about $30,000. It's a bit cheaper. I worked out it might be around $2,500 or $25,000. Because I will be doing a special needs adoption, but it's still more than the domestic adoption was going to be costing me. Also, I am now going back to school and I can't work this whole year because I was hoping that I could at least work to offset the cost of school, but I can't because I have classes all day or classes all morning, placement all afternoon. I can't imagine then going to work at night. But I am starting an Etsy store. Once I get that all organized, I will let you guys know the link, but I will be starting that. I started a GoFundMe, which will be linked down below. What else? I am hoping to either babysit or tutor or something on weekends and evenings, like just a couple hours. I just can't do like a full, like 4-hour shift after working at school and placement all day. But I figured if I can do something that's like here and there to make up some extra cash. Obviously working on budgeting really tightly. I am not happy about having to be budgeting so tightly, but if it means the difference between a year of getting my child sooner, obviously I want that. In terms of name, I had a name picked out, but knowing that she is going to be from Bulgaria, and then I was trying to practice her name being the name I had picked, and I don't like it. It just doesn't fit with, like, because I was looking on listings and stuff that had pictures of Bulgarian children and, like, special needs listings and stuff, and I couldn't imagine that with her name, and then I started not liking the name because it didn't match what I was looking for. So I did pick another name, which I'm going to share, not now. I will share when I have her. Which I will do a whole video on, like, the process, but it is fast. It's going to be a very fast process. Basically, I'll be matched, either right away or as soon as my home study's done. I'll have a match pretty quickly, because I'm open to so many special needs. And then 2 months after the match, you go and you visit the child, and then your heart breaks because then you have to leave them. But you have a 5 business day trip to visit them, and then 3 to 4 months after you visit them, you go and pick them up. So from match to pickup is 6 months. Yeah. So once my life is organized that I can actually start the process, it'll probably take me less than a year from start to finish, which is crazy considering it's been over a year now with domestic adoption. So yeah, everything's going to go fast. It's going to be crazy. So my plan right now, obviously, number one, finish school. I need to do school so that way I can get a job in Ontario with my family in a normal place where I will have resources too to help any child that I'm adopting. I wouldn't have that where I was living, and I didn't want my kid to grow up where I was living. So basically, I will be doing that. Hopefully get a job right away or soon after graduating. I have the education, I have the experience. I don't think it'll be a problem trying to find a job. Even looking right now, there's probably at least 10 to 12 jobs within the area that I can easily get a job. So, what else? After I get a job, I'm going to be saving. Once I feel okay with how much money I'm making, and saving, I'm going to buy a house. Me and my brother have been doing some open houses. Mind you, his budget is way too high for what I can afford, but I've seen some in my budget too. So I plan on doing that. I plan on getting a 3-bedroom. The reason for that is once I buy the house, I can't start the process. I don't know how to explain it. I can't start the process until I have the money because it's so fast of a process that I need to have $30,000 available to me before I start the process, because it's going to be like boom, 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 gone. My money's gone. So I need to be in a place where I have that money before I can even start anything, which me as a planner and me waiting this long as it is so frustrating to me because it's like, I just want to start now. But I know I can't. I know I'm obviously needing at least till April to do my classes. So once I have the money to buy a house, I am buying the house. Once I have a job, I should say, I'm going to buy a house. Down payment wise, it wouldn't be an issue because I'm not looking at very expensive houses. I'm looking at houses like under $100,000, $125,000. So down payment is like $5,000-$6,000. So that won't be an issue. I will save up for that so that way I can do a down payment. Once I buy the house, I'm going to keep saving by renting out the rooms. So I'm going to obviously stay in one room, but then the other 2 rooms I plan on renting out. In Niagara, where I'm living, it's not that hard to find like international students who are willing to rent a room. Someone I used to babysit for, she has done that before. She's had like 3 or 4 students even, because she has a bigger house, and just rented them out. So like $500 a room, rented it out, helps pay for the mortgage, which with my mortgage for $125,000 was going to be like $600 a month. So renting out one room and then paying $500, that almost pays for my mortgage. So I'd be paying so little of my mortgage and then my utilities, and that's it. If I can rent out both rooms, that's $1,000 a month, to help cover that. So that's my plan. And then once I'm ready to start the process, the reason I'm doing international students is because they're usually only there for 1 semester, and then you can move on to whatever. And with international adoption, once I'm ready, I want to be ready, and I can't do it if anyone in my house is over 18. Because they need to do the home study with me and the classes and stuff. I'm obviously not expecting some international student to do a home study with me. So I need to have the ability to be like, okay, you're done. I'm now starting the process. You've moved out. I'm starting the process for international adoption. And then once my child is adopted, which like I said, from start to finalization is going to be like really fast, like under a year. Once they're finalized and they're home, I can then rent out that other room again to an international student, which I would probably be limiting my international students to females only. 1, because I'm a female and I don't feel like living with males, and 2, because once I have my child too, I'd feel more comfortable with just females in the house. But anyway, so I would be able to make some money off of that. I would be able to take my maternity leave, which will be 8 months for adoption. I will get child tax then, which will help with extra expenses and with anything extra that I need to do with the child in terms of physical therapy or even normal therapy or any extra tutors and stuff like that. So I'll have the money from that. Basically, it's just waiting everything out now. It kind of sucks, kind of really sucks to be like, hey, I know what I need to do. Can I not just fast forward through everything? And like I was saying to my friend, I'm like, I could just like work at some horrible job so that way I can move out, buy my house, get the process going. But the problem then is I'm going to be miserable working wherever I'm working. And once I'm done the process of adoption, I'm then still stuck working there or in the middle of nowhere. I need to invest in my own future and my child's future by going back to school so that I can do a job that I actually enjoy doing and then be able to stay in Ontario as well. It just makes more sense to take this year to do that. It's not even a year, it's 8 months. Take this 8 months to do that in order to get my life together in a way that's going to help long term. Sure, the pay is going to suck. My pay is going to drop significantly. So what? We can't do Disney every year, or we can't do a cruise every year. We might have to go camping instead. Sure, I don't have summers off and stuff like that, but I will be happier, my child will be happier, and we will have a future. So if it takes me 5 years to save up for the adoption, I'm not too concerned. Whereas like with the public adoption, it was kind of crappy because it was like, okay, so basically I need to save up to move out into an apartment or to buy. But then after that, I'm just stuck waiting. I have to have a 2-bedroom to do my home study. But then I'm paying for a 2-bedroom while waiting for them to find me a child. Whereas I feel like with the international it's a bit better because once I start the process, I am golden. Like I know that it's going to take me a year, maybe 2. So once I have that money saved up, it's a fast process. So it's just getting my life together. That's the problem right now. But it's not like a waiting game. I don't feel like I'm stuck waiting. Toddler stuff. So I don't feel as bad adopting a toddler as I would have teaching. And that's because toddler age is like my favorite, like older infants and toddlers are like my favorite age. I always wanted to be a daycare worker. What got me into teaching though was the pay because daycare workers make not a lot of money. They make just over minimum wage, if that. Some of them only make minimum wage. So I was like, no, I'm going to go into teaching, do kindergarten because that's only a little bit older, but better pay. But I just am happy to go back to daycare stuff. So, like, money is not everything. It really isn't. for me to drop my income to have a job that I love in a place that I love is like a weight lifted. If it takes me 10 years to save up for the international adoption, so be it. At least I'll be happy during those 10 years, hopefully. But yeah, so adopting a toddler, I'm not so concerned about because I will be with infants all day. So I'm sure by the end of it, I won't need to be. Plus, I have like my friends that have infants right now that I've been hanging out with, and it's just different. Like to think that I don't have to go through that. I don't have to deal with the extra expenses of the formula. I won't have to deal with. I won't have to deal with the infant car seat. I won't have to deal with trying to find a stroller that fits with my infant car seat. I won't have to deal with the bouncers and the swings and all that stuff. I can still use my cloth diapers. I was going through all my newborn clothes anyway and donating them or giving them to friends. So that's not a big deal because I was doing that regardless of whether or not I was going to get an infant. I will admit I have made some purchases. I've bought 2 dresses, I think, and a shirt. Or 3 dresses and a shirt. I bought stuff. But I've been buying 4 tea, and that's because I figure, one, it's just helping me get through everything. Just getting through, like, the whole fact that I have to wait. I used gift cards that my friend had given me 2 years ago when I started TTCing. So it didn't cost me anything. And then also, 4 tea I'm buying because she will grow into it eventually. But I'm not going to be buying anymore. Maybe. Unless it's, like, super cheap. Because I still don't know that I'm definitely getting a girl either. I'll probably have a better idea of that next week after I talk with the agency, meet with the agency, because I just don't know if I can actually specify that I want a girl. I know there's like a list and I can pick off the list a child, so I could potentially pick a girl, but if it's like, okay, there's this girl with really severe needs, or this boy that doesn't have as much needs, do I pick the boy or do I wait it out for a girl? Which I don't know what I'll do at that time because I don't know when that's going to be. If it's 3 or 4 years from now, I could be pretty, like, done with everything and just be like, give me a boy, I don't care anymore. Or I could still be like, yes, I definitely want a girl, I'd rather wait it out for a girl. So it's just hard to say what is going to happen in the end. So yeah, so I'll still be able to use my diapers. The majority of my baby stuff I'll still be able to use. I'm just really... it's just so different to have a plan and to not have to worry about birth moms changing their mind and whatnot. Like, once I have that match, that child, she's mine. Like, there is no, oh, what if the mother changes her mind? Sure, there's the chance that the program could shut down, but it's a long-running program, and yeah. Sure, I could go meet them and be like, wow, I really don't feel like this child's mine. The chances of that happening, I don't feel are very great. I think pretty sure that once I have a little picture of them, or like even just knowing their name, like their given name, I'm done. That is my child. So yeah, I think that's it. It's really long. 20-minute video. I feel like there's other stuff I needed to talk to you guys about, but basically right now it's just about saving money. Saving money, how fast can I save it? Because ideally I would like to be out of my parents' house by this time next year. It's hard waiting. It really is. Especially when I don't... Like, TTCing helps make it seem like I'm doing something, but I can't justify paying $120 a cycle to maybe get pregnant when that's not my child. My daughter is coming from Bulgaria. Like, she could be born right now even. Like... That's my daughter. I'm like, I'll try to remember to post down below my why I won't TTC again video. Because it kind of explains better why I don't want to, like, I don't want to be pregnant. I never wanted to be pregnant. My child has always been through adoption. Like, that's how I knew I was getting my child, was through adoption. So now to be like, oh, I'm going to TTC, I don't like that, and I don't want to do IVF. I don't want to do anything like that. Even surrogacy, I never felt like surrogacy was the answer. Obviously not doing surrogacy now that I'm staying in Ontario, because there's no way in hell I'm going to afford it. But it doesn't matter, because my child is not through surrogacy. My child is through international adoption. That's how I'm getting her, or through adoption in general. But adoption is definitely the way I'm going, and international just has less... There's tons of paperwork, tons of red tape, but it's not as heartbreaking. Once you see your child, that's your child. There's none of this, oh, let's see and hope that she doesn't change her mind in the next 21 days. There's none of that. There's no 500 social workers coming to see you once you're home. I will have 4 post-adoption visits, but they're not taking my child if they don't think we're a good match. It's finalized. I have their passport. I have everything's already done. But yeah. And if you've adopted from Bulgaria or know anyone from Bulgaria or have any tips about traveling to Bulgaria or anything like that, please let me know. I have a friend from Bulgaria and my mom's friends from Bulgaria, so I've been getting some tips from them, but it would be nice to talk to you guys too. Or if you've adopted internationally and you have any tips for that, I've been reading like 5 million books. I think that's going to be how I get through the 5 million year wait. I promise I'll be doing more videos now that I kind of have my tripod set up. And Friday will be weight loss vlogs. I weighed in last week, but I didn't do a video for it, but I can use that weight as like a starting point. I've probably gained weight. I probably suck. But yeah, and there's Taylor. Happy Taylor, my new dog scout. She passed her dog scout test. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. Hey guys! Bye guys! Sorry I haven't been doing videos lately. Life has been crazy. I'm going to do a life update tomorrow. I'll post it. But today we're going to do TMI Tuesday. So I am cycled...